Minnesota legalized cannabis last year, but the first state licensed dispensaries still haven't appeared.
Quinn Gorham talked with the interim director of the Office of Cannabis Management to get an update on where things stand.
We are building, I've used this analogy multiple times, we're building this plane while we're flying it.
Charlene Briner is the interim director of Minnesota's newest state regulatory agency, the Office of Cannabis Management. The office was formed when Minnesota legalized recreational cannabis a year and a half ago. Since then, Briner says things have been busy.
We were charged with building an office from the ground up. We are not housed as part of another agency. We don't have the infrastructure that other agencies have to get started.
Briner says it takes a lot to get an agency up and running. But while they're setting things up for themselves, they've also have a budding new market to look after.
We are also charged with launching the new cannabis market. And that means creating a process for the regulations that business operators will have to abide by.
Getting that industry up and running has been an ever-changing task. Eyeing an early 2025 launch, the OCM has been working on setting up the licensing process for retail and for cultivation. This past spring, the state legislature put some new policies in place to speed things up.
The cannabis market is a supply chain dependent industry, and that means we actually have to cultivate cannabis in order to have products on the retail shelves.
Those policies allowed two main things: pre-approval of licenses for social equity applicants and early cultivation to prepare for initial demand. Still, the state is taking it slow as it gets things rolling. Briner says they want to take their time to ensure the state's cannabis industry is uniquely Minnesotan.
I think that the trade-off to create a sustainable, equitable kind of craft industry means a little lengthier timeline, but that was a very deliberate decision that the legislature made.
In St. Paul, Quinn Gorham, KEYC News Now.
Briner says the office is hoping to have the first dispensaries open in the first half of next year.